Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm a little out of breath. I introduced Fanny from backstage. I never thought when I signed up for graduate school I was going to spend my career sprinting through the paleontology department in 4-inch heels and leather pants. But science takes you weird places, right, folks? So this past Halloween I dressed up as the sexiest celebrity I could think of, Jane Goodall. Because she was my hero when I was a kid, and I was going to grow up to be a scientist like her. I was going to sit in the jungle and have beautiful silver hair and look at monkeys and be sexy. And then I found out that being a scientist actually means sitting in a windowless room with a strange guy. His name is Jared. So how did I get into science? Well, first of all, I got a master's degree in biology, or as I call it, a certificate of disappointment. Glad I took out those student loans, everyone. And then I realized with a degree in biology, you can. Or you can. And so I went back to school again, and I became a medical laboratory scientist and got a second degree in that, and I sat for my board exams, and I became certified to work in a job so lucrative that I paid the bills moonlighting as a stripper. Which, as Fanny told you, is absolutely true. But it turns out being able to identify body fluids works really well for both laboratory scientists and strippers. Which two body fluids fluoresce under black light? See, if you're a laboratory scientist, you know these things. So I had to give you one bit of information or advice. It'd be like, don't go into science. Science as a thing is amazing, but science as a job kind of sucks. Science is repetitive. Let me repeat. Science is repetitive. So what I do as a medical laboratory scientist, who here knows what an MLS is? Thanks for coming, Jared. So there's 200 people in this room, and 2 of you know what a laboratory scientist is. So I work in a hospital, and I do laboratory diagnostics. So if you go to the doctor, they draw your blood, you pee in a cup. That's what a master's degree will get you, people. So I do that, and people ask me, like, what do you analyze? And I'm like, I'm an expert. Anything you can secrete, I can analyze. Which is why I don't talk about either one of my jobs on dates. So part of what I do is, I look at your blood, I look at your pee, and I tell the doctor what's wrong with you, and then I run additional tests depending on what diagnostics he or she thinks that you might be having a disease or pathology from. A big part of my job is dealing with doctors, or as they think of themselves, God. And they are always super, super concerned if I didn't run a test on something. And I'm like, did you order the test? And they're like, no. And then I'm like, then it's not my problem. So doctors have to learn the same thing that women have to learn. If you want something, you have to ask for it. Specifically, and probably more than once. All right, I'm gonna leave the stage tonight and give it over to the next one. Thank you very much for coming out, folks. I got involved with Science Riot because I came to a show and it was sold out and they turned me away. And I thought, well, that must be something. So I bought a ticket super early the next time, and I got into standing room and saw the show and thought, that's really great and I can do that. So then I signed up and I participated in the show as a performer and just a performer. Then shortly after that, the guy who founded Science Riot was deployed to Arkansas and he needed someone to take over the Denver area productions. And I'm like, me, I'll do that. And then I became the Denver area producer, and as we've expanded nationwide, I've stepped up into being the national program coordinator. Because scientists get a bad rap for being really boring, and scientists are never taught how to communicate what's really cool about science to people who are not scientifically educated. And so we have this big gap, both worldwide and in our own country, of people who believe in science and people who are really skeptical about it. And those two sides don't talk to each other. And so my goal as the program coordinator and curriculum developer for Science Riot is to get those who have a really scientific background to be palatable, interesting, and approachable to people who don't have a strong scientific background. If we can get those two sides talking to each other, hopefully we'll unjam the logjam. My name is Jessie Hanson, and I'm the National Program Coordinator for Science Riot.